met up with some friends in New Orleans, and like they were, one was like a big smoker, and she was like, "Anybody got weed?" Nah, but I brought some edibles with me, and like it was like that fruit by the foot, shit, and like motherfucking a nigga was like, this shit ain't doing nothing, and I took a few more feet, you nigga, and pause.
It would take a few more feet.
Yeah, that shit was a mistake.
What?
In my mother-in-law's house, fading into like the motherfucking couch and shit. I was like, no, this was a mistake. An hour later, too. It was crazy. It was silly.
Speaking of fruit roll-ups, I had a bit do some shit on my with a fruit roll-up before that was.
But anyway, you back to another episode of They Gon'
I'd have
Feel
had that
Me.
too.
Well, you get authentic conversation from authentic men. You feel me? Today you got me. I'm your host, Durag Dino. We got my boy Himothy in the building. We got my boy Alcy, the edible enthusiast, in the building. And we got my boy RL. You feel me? And we about to get into another episode. What's this, episode 45, right, fellas?
Don't know.
45, the Jordan comeback episode, you feel me? So we about to drop some hot content. As we always say, man, we don't have the ticker right now, but y'all be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share it so your mama can see it, your grandma can see it, your auntie can see it, your uncle can see it, your alleged stepchild can see it, that broke drug dealer that's still selling drugs since the 5th grade because he's slaw as hell can see it. And we about to get into the episode. Y'all boys ready?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Let's do it. So we starting off with Meg Thee Stallion. So recently she just had a interview that she did, and she was talking about a lot of things, man, talking about her mom, talking about her success, everything. But the one thing she was talking about, man, was just trying to like find that comfort with her success that she's having and not having somebody to go to where she had someone to go to before. So, you guys tell me what you think about the interview that y'all saw and kind of like piggyback on that, dealing with grief after losing someone or any certain situation that you go through.
I think after watching it, it was like a while to me because my heart kind of went out to her, like what resonated with me is I just recently had a conversation with a friend who was talking about how she just bought a new house and, she just basically said, hey, my head has been in the books trying to figure out how to basically be the best person I could in my profession, and she realized how undomesticated she was. And, and she basically didn't have anybody to reach out to because like both her parents were dead, had passed away and what have you. And that's what it resonated with me. Just the idea of how much weight we put into the opinions and advice that you get from like patriarchs of the family, loved ones and things like that. My heart went out to her because it's kind of like it's got to be hard to lose like a very important figure in your life, and then all of a sudden you ain't got nobody to talk to. I know I deal with that in my life to this day. It's like I have friends, plenty of friends, but at the same time, there's sometimes when that stuff I need to talk to somebody about, and I just don't have anybody. And you feel kind of alone, you feel destitute, and everything feels new and unfamiliar, and you ain't got nobody to like reach out to be like, hey, yo, give me some advice and pointers. It's usually always bad sources of information in situations like that. And to that point, I understand.
Oh, we always beat the drum for mental health awareness, and I mean just continue to beat that drum though. For me, the snippet that I saw, it really humanizes her on a level that makes her really, really relatable to the average, everyday person. Because there's one thing that's a common denominator in what she was talking about, and that's grief and dealing with death. Because we know death is something that's all of us have experience with, whether it's a loved one, whether it's a friend at some point in time, because we know none of us are going to live forever. And we were talking earlier, a lot of times people, they're so set on achieving certain goals that they miss actually living their life, like experiencing and really embracing the process and getting to there. So when they actually get that goal, it kind of feels empty because, hey, I've been working, I've been grinding, I've been doing all this for so long, and I haven't taken the time to actually embrace the whole experience of me getting there. I've had my head buried, like you were saying, in the books, or I had my head buried in these workouts, just working out. And we win a championship, we win a Super Bowl or whatever. And I get there, I'm like, that's it? That's all? So I think this the little snippet of her, it humanizes her, and I think it provides a glimpse as to maybe some pitfalls and some issues that she's had in her career, because she's looking and having trust issues from various people and need people to validate her that really are manipulating the situation and manipulating her.
And when you got to look at even like her current situation with like the whole Tory Lanez thing. It's like who does she really have to talk to, like to kind of like say, hey, what do you do when you dealing with your own career, and somebody else's like in hanging in the wind of sorts. But I'm sorry, I interrupted you, Reeves.
No, you good. The biggest thing, one of the biggest things that I took from the interview was just when she talked about her mom and how she would go to her to tell her to get that validation, like Rob was talking about, if I'm doing good or I'm doing bad. I feel a lot of times growing up, like us as kids, we always want to make our parents proud. And we a lot of times seek validation from them and acceptance from them because we want to make them proud. We want them to be like, hey, you're doing really good, son. And I mean, even myself, I love when I hear my pops bragging to his friends, or he tells me that he told his friends about something that I'm doing in my life, and he's really proud of where my life is headed and the things that I've accomplished. We all want that kind of joy, and to make our parents proud. But I think sometimes it could be a detriment as well, because I think a lot of times we'll start to live our lives. Some people will start to live their lives for their parents, and they'll start to do things that they think their parents will approve of versus living their own lives and wanting to make themselves proud. So I think there's a balance that you have to have in life when it comes to making your parents proud, but also enjoying your life and making yourself proud, because you don't want to end up doing things that you may find some kind of happiness in them, but it may not totally make you happy. There's plenty of students or people that went to school for things that their parents want them to do, and they hate it, and they're in a totally different career field now, and they have debt, because they went to college doing something that they thought their parents would approve of. So I just feel like that was one of the key things that I picked up from this video, and I just want people to understand that, live your life for you. It's okay to want to make your parents proud, but I feel like as long as you're successful and you're doing something good in your life, your parents are going to be proud anyway, as long as you make something out of your life. So you might as well live it for you and live it on your own terms.
You know what's crazy about that? I remember, I had a ex who, her mom died, and she basically, her mom was so important to her in her life that when she died, she just went off. She just wilded out in her personal life. And, she was so wild that she was like, I don't care what I do. I don't care what I do to fill the void. I don't even care if I live, because my mom is gone. And at that point, that requires a certain level of self-introspection and the need for counseling, when you basically at a point where you I can't carry on without the intervention of this other person in my life. To your point, you got to live your life for yourself, not for the individuals who are present in it.
Yeah.
It's so crazy, man, because one thing that she mentioned about being adopted. My wife, she was adopted as well, and a lot of times when it comes to around the time, like right now, yesterday was her birthday, and she'll go on a rant like, why didn't I get this call from this person? Why didn't I get that call from that person? I always tell her, like, stop seeking validation from other people. You're you. Be you. Don't worry about what they think. Like, as long as I'm happy with you, and as long as you're happy with the life choices that you're making, as long as our son is good, that should be the only things that that matter to you. Like, nothing else should ultimately matter. But a lot of times I have to take a step back and realize, when you're adopted, that's what you look for. That's what you yearn for. You know what I mean? It's like you've been bounced around so much, and you don't know who you feel unloved. You feel like you're uncared for. You know what I mean? So I can see where she's coming from with that, and I see it firsthand. Even dealing with a spouse that died. You know what I mean? Just like Rob said, you just go into this dark place where you're just working. I remember, man, I like blacked out. I wasn't talking to nobody really. I was in the gym 24/7, and I mean, you may think that's healthy, but it's not, because you're not talking about it, and all you're doing is bottling it up. And then who's to say something happens and you don't snap and do something that you don't need to do? You know what I mean? So it was definitely, what were you gonna say, Rob?
No, I was saying, because you got to think about it. I mean, let's go back. When you're first born as a kid, you first have that relationship with mom, because she carries you for 9 months. Mm-hmm. So you already have that bond with your mom, that nurturing, that loving, because that's your primary caregiver. And if your father, your father's there, that's your first basic model or representation of what a male figure is. So it's very powerful, and it's something that, I didn't want to go off on the tangent, but it's important when when people are becoming new parents to understand, like, the weight of being a parent, and understand that's an important role that you play, because that kid that you're molding for the future, you have to help mold that kid in a way for where they'll be self-sufficient when you're no longer there. Because, like I said before, all of us, you got an expiration date, and what you want to do is you want to equip your kids with the skills and tools that they'll need to be successful when you're no longer around. Because any parent who's worked their weight in salt, you always want your kids to be better off than you are. You always do. So, it's just an ode to parenting as well. I salute and take my hat off to all you all that's stepping up to the plate and being good parents, and those that aren't. Hey, wake up! It's never too late to try to repair those relationships that you probably that you've hurt growing up.
Staying in the realm of music, we got your boy P. Diddy, who makes great tequila, by the way.
Take that.
It's probably about the only thing that you do good. But he was talking recently saying that R&B is dead. Chris Brown came out and was like, nah, bruh, it's not. Definitely that. He does that well as well. But Chris Brown came out recently as well, and he made a post saying that, music industry is just watered down, and, they want us to hear the exact same thing. He doesn't feel that R&B is dead, which is that's something that I personally feel. So y'all tell me y'all take some of that. Do y'all think R&B is dead? Are we looking for that old school, can we talk? Or a minute. What's...
There's something in this liquor.
Man, nah.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna be quick, man. R&B isn't dead. Listen, the era that I grew up in, I understand, why a lot of people think that R&B is dead because of the music that we listened to growing up. But it's just, I feel like R&B has evolved into something that's different from what we're used to. And that's why a lot of people say R&B is dead. But it's not dead. There's tons of great artists out there. Tim's, if you ain't been listening to Tim's makes great music. Bryson Tiller makes great music. Eric Bellinger is another one. If you really like panty dropping music, you want to hear somebody that get you, get you in the bedroom and get that shit to rocking. Then listen to my boy E. Bellinger. You know what I'm saying? It's a ton. When I tell you,
with E. Bellinger,
when I tell you,
when I had a flashback in.
It's a ton of artists.
Hey, what?
Hey man, listen.
You gave him a nickname and everything. That boy was Eric.
Easy.
I put my best work in with that E. Bellinger playing, boy.
Don't call your boy.
Don't call
your boy Easy Call for nothing, cuz I'm just telling you. If you really want to hear some good R&B, you're looking for those type of songs. It's some artists out here that's making really good really dope music. You just got to look for it. I think a lot of people too, when it comes to music, they lazy. They don't listen to what's on the radio.
I was just getting ready to say
how would you know that there's good R&B? There's good R&B out here if you never stopped and tried to dive into music more than your local radio station, because they're not going to play the best R&B music.
But
at some point, you always think every age group or whatever, they always look at the group preceding, them. Mm-hmm. It's almost like that old crotchety get off my lawn type stuff where I think my era was this or whatever, and then you looking back like, man, y'all don't sing like we used to. What, bro? Okay, it's different. It's different. I mean, people do it a different way. It doesn't make it any better or any worse. I mean, time is not slowing down. It continues to evolve. Music is not going to stay the same as it was back in 85. Not even 95 or 2005.
We've said it on this show before when it comes to rap music. Like, we have the rap music that we like, but the new style of rap, we like, we don't want to hear that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it just happens. You become your parents, unfortunately. You become that person who's like, this ain't the way I listen to it, so it don't sound good.
I would say that, like, when it comes to R&B, yeah, there's good R&B out there nowadays. I mean, I feel as if, like, probably the best R&B artists, like, if you want to get that good feel, will probably be, I guess, mainstream, like, oh God, I can't think of a name right now. Oh God, I can't think of a name. But like, there's
Summer Walker.
Yeah, not Summer Walker, but she did a song with Summer Walker. Wow, I can't believe I can't think of a name right now.
Ariana Lennox.
Yeah, Ari Lennox. Ari Lennox is like probably like one of the best representations.
Damn, Ari Lennox, I take a sip.
But like at the same time, like, and hey, Summer Walker, I actually do love. I've joked about her because she don't take baths. But like, I mean, but she is an amazing artist. Like, and I love her voice. There's a lot of artists that sound like her, but I do love her voice. Yeah. Now, what I don't like about R&B now is that everything is about, like, this kind of hookup culture style of music because of how, I don't know, maybe love, sex, and the dating scene is for this particular generation. And that's what makes it feel alien in comparison to generations before. There's a lack of subtlety and a lot more brazen. It's funny. It's like they talked about fucking back in the day, but like the way they talk about it now, it's like sex to them. Like, Chris Brown got to say, like there's a song where they talk about like making love in the club. You ain't making love in the club. Let me make love to you in a bathroom. That's not making love. Y'all fucking. And like
somebody might be making love.
Nah. Like that's carnal versus like I don't agree.
I'm gonna challenge you on that because, like, if you talk about music in the past, my pop's avid blues listener, right? I was helping him find some blues songs. You feel me? And the motherfucking girl was on there talking about fucking a home girl best friend while she ain't home.
Listen.
The other dude talking about some, you gotta have three women, one woman to hold me down, one woman to keep me up, and you always gotta have that woman.
One month you don't stop no show.
Listen, I've listened to Clarence Carter. I've heard about how he be stroking and talking about like if your girl start acting up, you can put it in her. Yeah, but
Do it in the butt.
but at the same time, can you really say that things seem as graphic then as it does now, even though they were talking about similar things?
I don't know, bro. I think people have a revisionist history, bro. I think people don't realize how derogatory the music was back then.
Exactly.
Because R. Kelly is a prime example of that. R. Kelly was, when we talk about derogatory music, he was one of those guys that was pretty graphic, as far
Bump
as
and grind, 12 play.
They have yeah. I mean, they have that music back then. I even remember hearing some music from back then. I'm like, God damn, they was talking about this back then. I can't remember the songs, but it's some music back then that was just as derogatory as it is now. I think a lot of people.
Silk. Let me lick you up and down.
I still can't.
What's the other song? The other popular song from college? Oh man, I can't think of that song. I can't.
Okay, Janet Jackson. Like even when you take these artists and even their most vulgar work that they put out, they handled it with a certain level of finesse that didn't come off as sounding like, you can slap me in the face with your dick. You can make me give you that gawk. Like
I'm gonna tell you how you looking at it. Right?
I don't think they do that now.
They do.
But no,
they do.
You looking at it. They don't do it like that. You're looking at it from the standpoint now that sex sells much more than it did back then.
Very true.
And we see a lot more. So we see a lot of women twerking in videos. Every video you see half naked women, and you see in these music videos, whether it's rap, R&B, whatever the case may be, and then that carries the persona. And then, of course, let's not talk about everyday life where you go to the mall, especially here in Texas, and you see half a chick cheeks hanging out the bottom of a damn shorts, right? Yeah. So you see that, and then that makes you think, that comes from the music. Exactly. But you think that comes solely from the music, and that's not the case. They talk about the same things then that we talk about now. They're just more free now than they were back then. That's what I'll say as far as like the culture goes. But if we're saying the music is different, Rob gave you a perfect explanation. I want to lick you up and down till you say stop. How the fuck is that not saying that it's vulgar? Bitch, I'm saying I want to lick you from your neck to your goddamn sole of your feet till you tell me stop. And I'm going to that pearl in the middle of your goddamn legs. So stop playing and acting like we ain't over here talking about freaky shit, okay? Let's stop saying it, cuz.
I'm just saying.
But I will say,
we're not gonna act like Luke. We're not gonna act like Luther Campbell and Luke was getting it all the way in. I'm Two Live Crew.
Man, them boy Keith Sweat.
I will say
what?
I will say that there are some artists that are a little bit more classical in their field. Like there's the Masegos of the world, Steve Lacy. Like there's artists out there who are making good music.
Honestly, I think today's R&B music is a lot more open as far as they don't have to just talk about sex. They don't have to rely on just being sexual and talking about relationships. They could talk about if you listen to R&B, if you listen to a lot of R&B, I listen to a ton of R&B. Me too. So I'm telling you, these guys, they talk about more than just sex and relationship. They're actually talking about mental health stuff. They're talking about their lives and things of that nature that doesn't revolve around relationships. So I feel like now and I think that's probably a lot of the reason why people say real R&B R&B is dead, is because R&B has evolved to this thing where I don't just have to talk about, hey girl, let's get it on and blah 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 blah, or turn the lights down low, light a candle. We ain't gotta talk about that all the time, 24/7. You know what I'm saying? Now I can express myself in other ways, which is, to me, that's good. Like I want to hear music that's diverse. I don't want to hear the same shit over and over and over again.
When I listen to R&B, I'm not listening to the mainstream stuff, or at least like I think that they have followings, but I don't think a Kali Uchis has like the same kind of following as like Summer Walker or Sabrina Claudio or the internet and a lot of these other artists. They got followings, but they don't get the same mainstream play as before. Man, and I feel as if like the Masegos of the world, like they do bring more artistry to the art than just talking about like a Jacquees who's basically sounding like an engine.
If you really want, traditional R&B, if that's the kind of R&B you want. let's not.
Around say.
You got your boy Jacquees. I mean, Tank still. It ain't like Tank ain't dropping albums no more.
Oh, say, can you?
Man,
real mature, guys. Real mature. Way to go.
I'm just gonna say that if you looking for that traditional R&B, it's a lot of the R&B artists from your generation is still dropping music. So just go listen to that. And I was just leaving it at that. Tank just dropped the album. I ain't listened to it, but I mean I've heard it's pretty good. So if that's the type of music that you like, it's still out there. But if you're looking for new artists, then be open minded. That's all I would say.
I feel you. All we saying is R&B ain't dead. They talked about the same thing back then. He just said, let's get it on. That's all I got to say.
Let's get it on. Turn off the lights.
Moving on to the next topic. Speaking of lick you up and down, your boy Tevin Campbell came out as gay. He ain't licking nobody up and down. Next topic.
Might be,
Moving right along.
We know. Nigga, we know.
Like, hey, Tevin Campbell, can we talk for a minute?
Nigga,
we knew.
Already.
All right. Really?
Hey, man.
Really?
More power to you.
And other news,
you, bro.
water is wet and Jesus is the light of the world. Move to the next
sky's
topic.
blue.
Like,
Grass is green.
Moving on to the next topic, man. We got your boy Idris Elba in the news because he did not put his daughter in his latest film, Beast, which sparked a big debate on Twitter. A lot of people were talking about nepotism within the black community, talking about how he should have put his daughter on because that is his daughter. I beg to differ. A lot of y'all have the same exact thoughts, but y'all tell me and let the people know what y'all feel about this topic.
man, fuck that.
No.
I'm torn on this one.
Hell no.
I'm not torn.
I mean, bro, come on. Like we not acting like. Have y'all watched what's the Tubi? Have y'all seen Tubi movies?
The app, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so if his daughter get on there and give a Tubi-esque performance,
I was gonna say,
and embarrass the hell out of that nigga,
are you
what
saying
y'all gonna
this
be saying
is not
then?
an Academy Award winning movie? Is this movie gonna get an
Come on,
Academy
bro.
Award?
Like, I mean, I'm just saying.
I'm asking. I'm
Hell
asking.
no, she ain't get no Academy Award. She might get a BET Award, goddamn it. All right,
Hey, man,
give out
chill
Tubi
out, man.
awards.
They give out Razzie Awards for trash ass movies.
Get your ass on, bro. Like,
Oh,
I'm
man.
glad. Like, make her work for it. Listen, I mean, I know Al C brought up a good point about nepotism when we were talking, and I agree. Like, we should be able to put our people on in good situations, but acting in a major film, to me personally, is not one of them. Even if this film is trash, it probably is trash, but I'm not putting my daughter in there knowing that she's not ready for this situation, especially if it's a mainstream movie that's going to be shown as a major production, even though it may not be a major production. It's going to be shown in all the movie theaters, and I'm not putting you in this movie. Earn your spot. That's all I got to say.
I'm all for nepotism. I'm all for cronyism. These other people who we won't talk about has been putting people on like since forever. So like, if you got the opportunity to put somebody on, go for it. I don't care. If you trash, we'll talk about that later. But in the meantime, go and get your check, go and get your bag. We could talk. I mean, we judge our community so terribly, like when we put people in like trash situations. But like, I can think of even classics. I mean, Francis Ford Coppola, he put his daughter in like the Godfather movies, and a lot of people say that she trashed the shit. Like, I mean, why can't we get to a point where you could be terrible, but you in? You could be terrible, but you in. You're in through the door. You can develop later. But in the meantime, get the bag. Like, why can't we do that? That's all I'm trying to say.
She could have been extra number 5.
She was in the movie.
She'll be standing.
I'm just saying, it's like
in the background.
either put your people on, or they turn out to like Lawrence Fishburne's daughter.
It don't sound like she want to be an extra, cuz it sound like she want a role aside her father.
I just feel like, man, it's not fair to try and use your father's fame to get on. That's almost like
Dr.
saying,
Dre.
oh,
It's like the Dr. Dre situation.
yeah, it's like the Dr. Dre situation.
Yeah, we
almost.
talked about that.
It's almost like, hey, my name ends with Jordan. I'm Michael Jordan's son. Y'all should give me the same
Get
respect.
your own
It
bag.
doesn't work that. You gotta go out there and grind for your own. So I get the fact that, hey, that's my daughter, but if you suck, my nigga, you suck. Like, you telling me of all of the genetics that came from my balls, you can't learn how to act? Like, come on, man.
I
If
mean,
she
that-
can't act, then she just can't act.
Yeah,
But
that might
hey,
not
maybe,
be her-
maybe
that
you
might
gotta
not be
have
her
on the
skill
job experience to figure it out.
Man, come on, man.
Man.
We ain't finna act like
I'm
acting is just something.
We ain't finna have on the job experience on this movie that's getting put to theaters.
But you gotta
lie.
think
There's a
about
lot
it.
of
If your
going straight
dad,
to Netflix or Hulu,
if your dad is Idris, I mean, he's a world-renowned actor. I'm pretty. I don't care, whatever. You know who I'm talking about, nigga. But if that's your dad,
Idris.
if that's your dad, and he out there, he knows what he's doing. I would think he has an eye for talent, and if he says you're not ready, then you're not ready in his eyes. Okay, he has the money, he has the wherewithal or whatever. You know he's going to provide for you. You know you're not out here destitute. You know what I'm saying? Like living hand to mouth. So this might just not be your skill set. Like y'all talked about Jordan, his sons. They were not great basketball. They were not great basketball players by a long shot. If she really wants to act, hey, grind, work on your craft, and hey, when the time is right, hey, you out there. But I don't think you should feel entitled. I don't think you should feel entitled like, hey, you gonna put me on just because I'm your
I
daughter.
think that's another thing that plays a factor in it, though. It's like it again goes with this generation. They just expect to have things handed to them, right? Oh, my dad is this, my dad is that, so I expect that, right? My dad's a banker, so I expect him to put me in charge whenever he retires. My dad is this, or my mom is that, and it's like, no, bro, I don't blame Idris, because to me, it's like you're making your kid work. You're not going to use my name for fame. You're going to work to get your own bag. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's teaching you more life than anything. No, you're not going to get famous off of my name. I'm not going to put you in this movie solely because it's me starring in it. If you don't act and you don't play the role good, I'm not going to put you in there. Like, I don't see the problem with it.
I mean, it's not like he's puffy.
Teach a man how to fish, cuz he can.
Not like he puffy in the band, making the band, like making them walk, all the way to Brooklyn to go get him, some kind of cheesecake or something. No, it ain't. Come on.
He could be protecting her too, because I'm gonna be honest. I'm looking at the trailer and it don't look like it's gonna be a great movie. And like I'd be like, hey, yo, I could put you in this, but like for me, this is just a money grab. This is just me doing something to like make a check. Yeah. Like, why would I make this? Why would I help you in this and this be your debut movie? And it's like sucks. And then all of a sudden your career has already stagnated. Yeah. So like, I mean, that I get.
My biggest issue is like she didn't speak to that man for like 3 weeks or something. I was reading like that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, so then that poses my question that I have to this as well. So then if you're saying that hey, he's protecting her, if she don't speak to me for 3 weeks because I don't put her in this movie, does that make you want to put her in a role when you get a bigger role? Let's say in a movie star and Denzel along with you as a co-host or something as a co-star or something like that. Would you then want to put her in that if you acted like this, if I didn't put you in this movie?
No, if anything, as a parent, I'd be like, you watch your fucking mouth. Yeah, that's what it would look like
more,
to me.
Like I said, it feels to me like
opposite reaction.
It feels to me like entitlement, like bratty behavior. I can't get what I want, so I'm not going to talk to you for 3 weeks. Come on now. Really? Is that serious?
Yeah.
Man,
it's crazy, man. Next.
Keep it moving. Yeah,
That's
keep it
crazy.
moving.
That's crazy, man. Going on to the next topic, we got your boy Swizz Beatz and Timbaland. They're suing Triller apparently for a lot of their acts that they've had. I think partly with verses and stuff like that. So, man, y'all tell me what y'all think about this right here that's going on.
Drop the bag off, cuz.
Get your money, man.
If it's old, man. I mean, ain't nothing much I can say. I'm just wondering, is this gonna be the end of verses? That's all I'm wondering. You know, that credibility looking kind of shaky right now. You know, Swizz Beatz and Timbaland been putting together these verses and getting these artists and stuff. They had a big hand in these verses battles. So you're not paying them. I don't know where the future of this is headed. That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't know. Triller has always seemed as if like something was kind of Firefest like about them. You know, like they just always seemed like they were a little bit on the shady side. So like, I mean, as a matter of fact, like when I was doing research into this, like a couple of influencers or whatever who they've been trying to also have be on their platform, they've been missing checks on them, you know. So it's kind of like they're just like they seem like just another organization, another group of people faking it till they make it, trying to talk about their money, but then all of a sudden they ain't about their business. And like, you know, for that reason, sue the fuck out of them, sue them until there's nothing left, as far as I'm concerned.
But Triller, if you do want to sponsor a podcast, I do know a podcast that would be. No, I'm just playing.
Shit, now they get sued to sleep and they ain't got no more money. We gonna be streaming too.
We gonna get no check. We gonna be podcasting for free.
We still be podcasting.
Still podcasting for free.
You talking about just Timbaland and Swizz. You got 4 black men from the South that you ain't giving checks. We will beat your motherfucking ass, my boy.
Hey, cuz. You want to see who Triller?
Don't give me my Skrilla.
Everything.
You thought Busy Bone was bad. You ugly motherfuckers ain't got my check. Like, that's gonna be me, nigga.
Exactly. Memphis thin ass woman. Keep on playing, cuz. So since they're putting this stuff with verses together and everything like that, so we know about, y'all were talking about it earlier, the Jermaine Dupri, versus P. Diddy versus that's apparently coming up, which may be the Jermaine Dupri, Jermaine Dupri. So y'all talking about that versus. Who do y'all think is gonna come out with that versus?
I wanna piss on you.
Oh, so this is an R. Kelly story. Okay. That's what. Hey. All things considered, that would be a really good versus. You know, like, I mean,
hey man, you know it's gonna be showmanship. I mean, you talking about Diddy, you talking about Jermaine Dupri. I mean,
he gonna try a little boy. He gonna try a little boy.
Cause he a little boy.
He was just out there with Carisha, cuz getting it in. You know what I'm saying, on the stage. So hey, I'm all for it. I mean, as far as the one thing you can't take away from Diddy is his production skills. I mean, the dude has made hit after hit after hit. You know, from Biggie to all the way to, you know, to now to the new generation. You know, we've had the Day 26s and Danity Kanes. They didn't make it long, but they did produce some very quality and underrated material. And of course, Jermaine Dupri is Jermaine Dupri. I mean, you got Mariah Carey, you got Bow Wow, you got The Brat, you know, you got Janet Jackson, and the list goes on. Usher, you know, and the list goes on. I mean, so they both in their own right are beasts. They're, you know, great producers, and it's gonna be a battle for the ages, of course. You know, when you mentioning them two.
That's good. That's good that you said all that. But that ain't what I asked. I said, who you got coming out on top? God, what's your prediction, my boy? What's your prediction? Who you got winning?
I mean,
I'm gonna go Jermaine Dupri.
Lately, the underdog's been winning because I feel like the guys who are the favorites, they typically come in with a little bit of cockiness and arrogance, and they think those guys ain't gonna perform. I'm gonna probably say Jermaine Dupri because I do feel like if we talking about hit for hit, I mean, when you think about it, Jermaine Dupri and the artists that he's produced, he's got some bangers. Diddy got some bangers, don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, but I feel like Jermaine Dupri got some sleepers that people don't remember, and that's why he's gonna win because people gonna be like, "Damn, I forgot he did that. I forgot he did that. I forgot he did that." We already know what Diddy, majority of what Diddy done, but Jermaine Dupri is gonna be one of them things where people, "Damn, he did that. Oh shit, I forgot he did that." So I'm gonna go with Jermaine Dupri.
I'm gonna go Jermaine Dupri because I think he's gonna take it more serious. And I think Diddy is going to come in on that whole New York, the NYC type. You know, I'm Diddy, you know, so Mr. Ciroc coming all toasted and zooted up. So
dancing and
I'm
shit.
I got to give it to Diddy. Diddy going to have the better showmanship. Diddy got the catalog. You know, I mean, I got to give it to Diddy. Like, you can't sleep on, like, at the end of the day, Diddy is still Diddy. You know, like, I mean, Jermaine Dupri, you can't sleep on him either. But Diddy is still Diddy. He actually is capable of being on both sides of like the producer table. You know what I'm saying? As a performer and as a producer, just like Jermaine Dupri, but he's had a much better track record as an artist. I mean, I got to give it to Diddy. That me personally.
It's still something silly to me about calling a grown ass man Diddy.
Well, I ain't about to call this nigga Love. Tell you that.
Damn time about to call him.
I mean,
was Puffy,
Diddy, P Papa, Diddy Pop, the Diddy. It's that's the best we got. Sean Combs.
I'd rather call him that than call him other names.
The D, the I, the D, the D,
and,
the Y.
And it's funny because like he just recently put out some meme or something I saw it on Instagram where he was talking about how he was the hardest hustler of all time, and like honestly he is, you know, like
he is.
The nigga grinds.
When you think about it,
he's been on his grind since the beginning of his since the beginning of his career.
I mean, he could easily stop now. Like ain't he a billionaire or close to it? I mean, like he could easily stop now. But the dude just keeps grinding. He got Ciroc, he got his production, his I mean, like the dude is
Revolt.
When we talk about hustlers, Revolt. When you talk about hustlers, the dude's a hustler. You can't deny that.
He gets his money.
He gets his money, man, but he's still gonna get beat by Jermaine Dupri at the end of the day. On to our last topic that we always talk about, man. The best thing that we seen all week. So recapping your week, Monday through today. What's the best thing that y'all seen this week, man?
Well, the best thing I first saw was my niece celebrating her 4th birthday, but excluding that and the beauty of like this child growing into like a beautiful individual. But like as far as like just from the media, that show that's streaming on HBO, I think it's on HBO proper, but like I mean I know it's on like the streaming service. Rap Shit, I love that show. I really do. It seems like it's basically kind of like the 8 Mile but for city girls, but like still it's a pretty good show. I like the story so far, and it has a lot of good elements. It really does, in my opinion, encapsulate what a female rapping group might go through in today's social media laden climate that we find ourselves in, out here hustling, trying to basically go for the bag or what have you. I really do enjoy the show.
What's up? Next? Who up? What's the best thing one of y'all seen all week?
Over the weekend, my chapter fraternity, we had our black and gold ball, and where we gave awards out to community leaders all over the Delta, and it was really inspiring to see that many black individuals all in one building, but it was one that was really inspiring. It was a young kid out of Indianola, Mississippi, 9-year-old kid who's already written his own book, and it's a seller. He's been all over, being promoted and everything. And so it was cool to see a 9-year-old author already, coming from the Mississippi Delta. So that was really cool.
That's dope. The the best thing I've seen all week is Meg and Sailor Moon.
Yes.
Baby,
yes.
don't kill me. No, don't kill me. Don't kill me. You know what I'm saying? But hey, we all grew up on Sailor Moon. You know what I'm saying? And hey, but nah. In all seriousness, it's two things that It's two things that I actually saw this weekend that was pretty dope. Not this weekend, but this week. So, hey man, Sailor Moon. You know what I'm saying? But one of the things was American Horror Stories. They have like that spinoff of American Horror Story, which was the actual series, and they show like different stories every week. So this week it was an all-black cast, which is really dope. That's one reason why it was really a really good show. But it was also about Bloody Mary. So it was really, really, really good. Like, this is probably the best one that they've released this season. So if you don't watch American Horror Story, or if you're into American Horror Story and you haven't seen it, I definitely go check it out. Like I said, it's an all-black cast. Really dope show. This episode was really dope, so go check it out. And another thing that I saw, which is an older movie, it was actually released in 2020. It's called The Most Dangerous Game with Liam Neeson. And the plot...
Liam Neeson's?
What? Liam Hemsworth.
Oh.
Sorry, my bad.
Nah. I was about to like clown Liam Neeson. You know, the nigga hater.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Yeah. My bad. No, not that guy. Liam Hemsworth.
Nah.
So it's a really good movie. It keeps you involved. Anytime my wife watches an action movie, like, and she puts her phone down, I know it's a good movie. So it's really good. It's basically, the plot is this guy, he finds out that he has a tumor in his brain. It's malignant, and he decides to play this game where people are trying to hunt him and to get money for his wife and their future kid, because she's pregnant. So he wants to leave them some money, and that's basically the plot of the movie. I won't tell what happens in the movie. Just go watch it if you haven't. It's a really good movie. So, and that's what I saw this week. That's really good.
What's up, man? What's up, man? I had to say the best thing that I seen all week. Two things, man. Number one, I saw you had mentioned it, and I went and watched it. That story on Netflix about Manti Te'o, the Untold, that he had. Man, it was really good. Like, diving into it. And the one thing that man just irritates me and irks me, man, is that, even though these kids are playing football on a collegiate level and are getting all this publicity, we fail to realize that they're still kids. And I do feel like for Deadspin to put everything out the way that they did, trying to embarrass somebody else, you ended up embarrassing, that young man, which I do feel like looking at it from that perspective, I can understand everything that he went through, because I even remember us making jokes in the group chat and stuff about it. We Manti Te'o and stuff like that, like how that could have affected him on the football field, especially losing, your draft stock and everything like that. And then I just thought back, like, man, when he was talking about how he had the opportunity to go after his junior year, when he was up there possibly winning the Heisman, but he decided to stay. Like, damn, like, what if he would have went on ahead and got drafted, and then didn't, and that came out in the NFL? We all know the NFL just would have brushed it under the rug, so, like, it was just crazy seeing that story. But it was a good story, good, well put together story, man. It made me have a completely different respect for Manti and everything that he went through. And then, another thing, man, my wife just celebrated her 28th birthday. So happy birthday to my baby. She just celebrated her 28th birthday yesterday. We went out, we kicked it, which leads me to stories with Chris. Let's talk about it. Oh, man. Oh, so when you go out with your old lady, guys, do not try to outdrink your old lady, especially when it comes to tequila, right? So we go out, right? We're in a new city, new state, trying to find a nice Mexican restaurant. So we go out, we find a nice Mexican restaurant. We already had Deleon at the house. We go to this Mexican restaurant. I asked the waitress, what's the strongest margarita you got? She tells it to me. She brings it out. Boom. All right, cool. Put it on the table. Bow. All right, let me get 2 shots of this. One for me, one for her. Boom. What else you want, baby? I want this shot. Okay. Let me get this shot, my man. I still ain't finished with my goddamn margarita yet. So then we come back to the house, right? And we still got Deleon. My wife, she's just like, she turned.
feel me? I'm 28. Woo! Fuck that shit. She just turned up, right? Fuck everything. Fuck everybody. So we drinking tequila. We're drinking tequila. We taking shots, you know? I'm not a tequila drinker. Not a vodka drinker. I'm a whiskey drinker, right? Tequila don't just sit well with me, okay? It's like 10 o'clock. She still want to drink. I'm like, damn, motherfucker, you ain't tired? Like, we ain't done yet. My liver's screaming for help, but okay. So I make another cup, proceed to take another shot. Let's go take a shower, babe. Okay, cool. So we're in the shower, right? Not gonna get too deep into it. We're in the shower. I make this move to go around her. You know, it's my turn to rinse off, right? Lathered up. I gotta rinse now. She says to this day she didn't push me. She clearly pushed me. I fell forward, whole curtain come off. That story's with Chris. Do not outdrink your wife. My shin is still fucked up. Hours later, I can't walk right. I'm walking with a limp.
Sounds like you didn't go too deep into things that night either.
I definitely did, man. I sobered up like that. Sobered up in an instant. Stories with Chris. Do not outdrink your wife, man, because it will not happen. Anyway, man, we appreciate y'all for watching this episode. Y'all have officially...
We need a Patreon for that story.
We need to land the plane. Land the plane.
Subscribe to the Patreon if you want to hear that story.
Y'all have officially made it to the end of the episode, man. We appreciate y'all for sticking around this long, man. As we always say, man, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the video so everybody can see it. We appreciate you all for rocking with us a year in. Do not stop rocking with us, man. Please comment on these videos and let us know what y'all want us to talk about. And the next one that we make, we are doing these things weekly. We are making these uploads for y'all, man. So y'all just continue to show They Gon' Feel Me love. And we're going to continue to rock out and do everything for you guys. So, for my boy, for myself, Durag Dino, Timothy, LC, the edible enthusiast, and RL, we are checking out. And if you did not feel us this time, I guarantee you gon' feel us the next. Now, as I always say, El cumpe corpinto.
What?
That's Spanish. Forget the fuck off my screen, nigga!
Orale!
Hey, it's your boy Ron from the They Gon' Feel Me podcast. And if you want more authentic conversation from authentic men, check out this video.